All artists that are making beautiful art will never find their art style. In order to find a unique art style, truly unique, you have to tap into your ugly sketches. Beauty is the enemy of avant-garde. Beauty is the destroyer of creativity. Beauty is the opposite of originality. And the moment you step away from beauty is the moment you can actually find something that is unique. But hey, wait a minute, Dries, what are you saying? All artists that are making beautiful art are not going to find an art style. You are just being provocative for the sake of provocativity. But this is not true. In order to understand what I'm saying, let's take a look at what beauty actually means. Something is beautiful when it fits the expectations that we have of what beauty should be. When something is beautiful, it is similar to those things that were already beautiful. And what is similar? What is similar or being identical? It is being a copy. By definition, everything that is beautiful is a copy of something else, a copy of what other artists have created, a copy of what society has deemed to be beautiful. But if we look at all the art styles in the past, every single art style that has been admired, the Fauvists of the world, the Impressionists of the world, the abstract artists of the world, all of them were new in the beginning, all of them were different, all of them had a sense of ugliness in the beginning. If you look at Mark Rothko, for example, and Mark Rothko would take a look at Picasso. In the eyes of Mark Rothko, Picasso is overworked. In the eyes of Picasso, Mark Rothko is still mixing colors on a palette. And so, from the eyes of Mark Rothko, Picasso is ugly. If Mark Rothko would have believed that Picasso made the most amazing paintings in the world, the absolute gorgeous pieces of art of Picasso, then he would have painted just like Picasso. But he didn't. And so, if we look at these people, what we see is that they are tapping into the original, tapping into that which is different from what is beautiful at that time. And so what does all of this mean? It means that there is more originality in your ugly work. Your ugly work shows that which does not exist yet. Your ugly work shows that which is new. Your ugly work shows the things that only you could have created, which is by definition going to be your art style. Claude Monet was ugly at first. El Greco was ugly at first. Jackson Pollock was ugly at first. Henri Matisse was ugly at first. A wild beast that couldn't use color properly like it was supposed to be used. And cutting in paper. Cutting in paper. Who cuts in paper? Children cut in paper, but not real artists. Everybody was laughing with Matisse until they were not laughing anymore. And so what do all of these great artists have in common? Well, they looked at their ugly sketches and they saw something that other people didn't saw. They saw something unique. They saw something that was beautiful within the ugliness. They saw what would become their art style, and then they presented that to the world. This is the dialectical nature of art. The beautiful becomes ugly and the ugly becomes beautiful. If people wouldn't tap into those ugly sketches, we would still be painting in caves. Now the alternative is, of course, to look at Instagram. Oh my god, all these Instagram artists, they're all making the same artworks with the same compositions and the same hands and the same faces and the same colors and the same everything. It is boring as f***. You could also do that. You will get some likes from that, but nobody of those Instagram losers will be remembered. Nobody of those Instagram losers will feel good about themselves. Nobody of those Instagram losers, this is not a real sentence, I'm repeating a mistake 3 times. Nobody of those Instagram losers will make something that other artists will be mesmerized by. This is not going to happen. They make boring, rudimentary, loser works of art. Now this is a very profound insight. The moment you understand this is the moment that you understand that what every other artist is doing is meaningless. They are all trying to improve their skill level, but if you are better at drawing beauty, if you are better at painting beautiful things, at copying what is already beautiful, then you will be more inclined to make beautiful things, aka the outcome will get worse because you will not be original. You will become more and more unoriginal. The reality that artists need to understand is that skill doesn't matter. Your ability to draw 3-dimensionality doesn't matter. Your ability to use color theory doesn't matter. You can go to any art academy in the world and you will find people with an extremely high level of skill. Oh my god, look at what they can do, beautiful. And you will find people that are as good today as they were 17 years ago. And what did they do in those 17 years? Nothing. They didn't do a goddamn thing. They are soulless. They have no creation power whatsoever. The only thing they've done is copy-pasted that which already existed. And why did they do that? Because they tried to improve that which does not need improvements, namely your skill. And this becomes very obvious in today's world, in the 21st century, where AI is going to slowly but steadily replace skill. And so if skill is replaced, if skill is not a thing in the art world, you have to start thinking about what is going to be important. If skill doesn't matter, what is important? Put it in the comments. Artists are lost. They became masters of their craft but forgot their identity. They become masters of the brush but have nothing to say. They became masters of the pencil but have nothing to share with the world. And so what are they doing? They're practicing skill, but skill is nothing more than following the beaten paths. And so they are lost. They are hiding behind skill. Their skill becomes their cloak of invisibility. Their skill becomes the mask they put on their face without realizing that people want to see their real face. They don't want to see the mask. There's one more important point to make before we can go down to the solution. One more time challenging the status quo. Because artists are practicing, and the reason they are practicing to find their art style is because they believe that if they practice long enough, that somehow, somewhere they will find their art style. This is what is recommended on YouTube. Practice makes perfect. But this is a lie. Practice does not make perfect. If you understood what I said, you understand that the more you practice, the more you gain skills to copy paste other people. The more you practice, the more you will start copy pasting. The more you practice, the more you become sheep. And artists are the opposite of sheep. They cannot be sheep. Artists are lions in the fields. And so stop practicing and start marketing. The more you market, the more your brand grows. And the bigger your brand becomes, the less insecurity you will have. Because practice and skill is nothing more than hiding because you're insecure. You are afraid that people will say, oh, this person cannot draw, or this person cannot paint, or this person's skill level isn't high enough. But all the great artists of the past, or not all of the great artists, but many of the great artists of the past, they didn't have any skill level. Jackson Pollock doesn't have a skill level. In order to paint a black square like Malevich, you don't need a skill level. If you are going to do what all the other artists are doing, you will get the same results that all the other artists are getting. Namely, not finding your art style and becoming a starving artist. You will become a starving artist that makes uninteresting art. You will become a starving artist that the girls avoid because they can smell the failure on you. You will become a starving artist that exchanged his rights to reproduce with an amazing hot blonde for reproducing beauty that other people have invented. You will literally be copy-pasting their beauty while you would be able to do something else, but you don't. If you want to make something groundbreaking, you have to step away from the beaten path. And the beaten path is that which is already perceived as beautiful. And so what are you going to do? Which actionable steps can you take to grab a hold of the uniqueness that is hidden inside of your ugly art? Step 1. Spend 15 minutes every single day for the next week making something extremely ugly, the most horrendous ugly thing that you can make. This taps into your fear of making ugly things, hopefully also getting rid of that fear. Now, in step 2, you want to tap into that fear even more. You take the ugliest piece that you've made in those 7 days and then you frame it and you hang it in your home for everybody to see. And then in step 3, you want to tap into this fear even more. You take pictures of this piece, this ugly, horrendous, loser piece, and then you share it on social media. You share it with the world, tapping into that fear. Now, obviously, your fear of posting will be crushed with the system. Your fear of making ugly art will also be crushed, and you will start to create some kind of affinity, especially if you hang it in your home, this piece, and you look at it every single day for a couple of months. You will start to see something beautiful inside of it. Now, obviously, this is not going to be enough. Obviously, this is just a taste of what ugly art can do. But once you get a taste, you might want some more. Now, throughout this video, we talked about marketing. The more your brand grows, the more you can get away with making anything that you want. And so how are you going to start marketing your art, your newfound art style, in a way that people actually like it instead of hate it? I made a video about that. Find your art style without skill or talent, explaining exactly that. Link in the description and in the end screen. That said, get the hell out of here.